Everyone wants to win their group at the World Cup. The logic feels airtight. Dominate your pool, collect maximum points, finish first, and walk into the knockouts with momentum and a path you genuinely earned. Here's the thing, in 2026, for some teams, winning their group actually makes the path to the final harder, not because of a bad draw, not bad luck, structurally, mechanically, written into the rules before a single match is played. And the teams that finished second who didn't quite crack top spot, who maybe needed a late goal just to survive, can walk into the round of 32 against a weaker opponent than the teams that came first. No, that is not a typo. Here is exactly how it works. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest edition ever staged, 48 teams divided into 12 groups of 4. Every nation plays 3 matches. The top 2 from each group advance automatically, that's 24 teams. Then FIFA takes all 12 of the third place finishers and ranks them against each other. The best 8 of those 12 also qualify. Add it up and you get 32 teams heading into what FIFA is calling the round of 32, a whole extra knockout round that didn't exist in previous World Cups. One additional hurdle before you can even think about the quarterfinals. Sounds like a clean system. Expand the tournament, give more nations a shot, stage more knockout football. It is not perfectly clean. Here is where the numbers fall apart. You have 12 group winners. You have 8 third place teams. The difference between those two numbers is 4. And that gap of 4 creates the entire problem. In a fair and tidy world, every group winner would be rewarded with a third place opponent in the round of 32. A team that barely scraped through on goal difference, carrying the psychological weight of 3 exhausting group matches and a narrow escape. A softer first knockout game, the reward you earned by winning. But there are only 8 third place teams, not 12. So 4 group winners, 4 teams that did everything right, that topped their table, that maybe dropped nothing across 3 games, cannot be given a third place opponent. Instead, those 4 group winners are matched against runners-up, the same type of first knockout opponent that 8 other runners-up are also facing. You came first, you get a second place reward, and almost no one is talking about it. Here's what makes it worse. The bracket is not drawn on the day. This is not a lottery. The specific matchups are locked in before the tournament even starts, determined entirely by which lettered group you happen to finish in. Win Group C, you play the runner-up from Group F. Win Group F, you play the runner-up from Group C. Groups H and J work the same way. 2 pairs, 4 teams, those 4 group winners are each matched against a runner-up in the first round, no matter what. Picture it from the inside. Your country draws Group C. You prepare, you qualify, you play 3 matches, you win all 3. Perfect record, top of the table, and your reward is a runner-up, someone else's second best team. Now look at what's happening in Groups A, B, D, E, G, I, K, and L. The runners-up from all 8 of those groups, they play each other. Runner-up against runner-up, no group winner in sight. So the runner-up from Group A faces the runner-up from Group B, but the group winner from Group C faces the runner-up from Group F. Same round, same level of opponent, but one team came first, the other came second. A team that finished second in their group can have an easier first knockout match than a team that won theirs. That is not a quirk, that is the design, whether you like it or not. There is a second angle most people completely miss, and it has nothing to do with bracket math. Winning your group means showing your hand. To top the table, you need wins, and to get wins, you need to play properly, your best shape, your best players operating in their natural positions, your press working at full intensity. By the time the group stage ends, every coaching staff still alive in the tournament has 3 full matches of footage on you. Your defensive triggers, your set piece routines, your shape when you're protecting a 1-goal lead, your best player's preferred foot in tight spaces. England's manager in 1966 famously kept his real system hidden during the group stage, playing his cards close to his chest before unveiling his definitive wingless formation once the knockouts began. Argentina in 1986 used a formation opponents simply did not know the details of, and that element of surprise was part of the reason it worked. A team that scraped through in second, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 narrow loss, has shown considerably less. Their most dangerous sequences might still be a secret. Finishing second, you might have an extra card to play. This is the first World Cup in this 48-team format. The bracket dynamics are no longer theoretical. Right now, as teams fight through the group stage, these implications are playing out in real time, and every manager in the tournament knows which letter their group is. But football has always rewarded teams that survived before they thrived. Italy at the 1982 World Cup drew all 3 of their group matches. All 3, they barely qualified, everyone wrote them off. Then they beat Brazil in the second round, beat West Germany in the final, and won the whole tournament. The group stage table is not the final word, it never has been. So let's pull it all together. The 2026 World Cup bracket is fixed before a ball is kicked. 4 group winners, those from Group C, F, H, and J specifically, are matched against runners-up in the very first knockout round. Meanwhile, 8 runners-up from other groups face nothing tougher than another runner-up. And every team that won their group to get there did so by revealing exactly how they played to every remaining opponent in the tournament. Winning your group still matters. You're still advancing. You're still in the tournament. It just doesn't always deliver what you thought it promised. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.